special teams. So we talked about the missing kicks last week, and special teams has been kind of a theme all season. We're seeing like just things happening. And the two things that I saw in this game, we had that one kick return that Seattle had on us that they took it to like the midfield. And then we also had punt return. I was a punt returner in high school, and a word that they teach you day one is poison, or everyone's got a different word, but poison. Get the hell away from the ball. That ball's landing, get the hell away from it. And I've seen that happen multiple times this year where ball bounces and you have guys, are getting pushed into the air where the ball is. It's like, dude, get the hell out of Dodge. And those are just different aspects of the special teams. Obviously, we didn't miss any kicks today, which is great. So improvement. So I want to ask you, when you start to see, I guess, a kind of a trend of special teams issues every week, and you can point to different things, JD, what is that? Is that just having too many young guys in the special teams unit, or is that just is there something not clicking with our special teams this year? Because Dave, too, historically, he's a great special teams coach. So, I mean, I don't want to say it's all on him, but is it personnel? What is that?
Well, I think it's the same thing. I don't think guys got to go down and make plays. But special teams it's a will and a want to. It really is. It's about staying in your lane, playing, with everything free, moving fast, and getting down, making tackles. And you got to be able to go down and secure what you're doing. And sometimes when guys are coming down, you can see them get pushed past guys that just missing. And so when you see these lanes open, that is a failure of somebody not being in their lane, or somebody that's a misassignment. Somebody's not doing what they're supposed to do. And so that's part of the problem. So you got to go and evaluate who that guy is. And look, we've said this, and it's 100% true. The eye in the sky does not lie. You cannot, when film comes up, you're going to see who is out of their lane, who's running around the block, who's doing this, because what it does is it compromises the integrity of what you're trying to do. So that's one of the things. And look, special teams is a very important thing that we need to harp on. I'm glad to see that Buckner and Townsend, kissed the mate up or whatever they did to get everything looking like it was. It looked perfect. Everything looked perfect as far as kicking the ball. It did. So I was like, okay. I was looking at that extra just to make sure everything looked good, and it did. So, but I think it's probably a part of the problem. Too, man, he's going to be going through it. He's been getting it week in and week out. It's something else with the special teams. I don't care if it's the kicking, or the tackling, return ball. But that is something, an aspect, an element of the game that you have to have going into the playoffs, being prepared and being ready. Right now, they're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it's a combination of a couple things where you have a lot of young, inexperienced guys that are trying to find their legs in this league, and you're seeing a lot of miscues, miscalculations, like JD's saying, you don't see guys in the right lanes, and then they open up a pocket for a guy that maybe could have had an 8-yard return. It turns into a 24-yard return, and field position is everything in this league. And I think that's 100% a player issue. But see, here's the thing. Coaching comes in when you see an issue, you address it, you work on it, you get these guys in the right positions, and you build them up for success. And that's something that Dave Toub has been unbelievable at for the better part of this last decade. In fact, it's been a solid decade since he's been here in Kansas City, and the guy's been probably the best special teams coach in the entire league. And JD knows this better than anybody, especially being a special teams coach himself, where it's special teams being such an important phase of the game, because people overlook it because offense and defense get so much attention that a special teams play can ultimately decide a game. I mean, hell, three of Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowl rings were won in special teams. Adam Vinatieri hitting big field goals. And credit to Harrison Butker for what he did today, because I've been having a lot of concerns about him. But if he goes out here and starts nailing them like he did today, you ain't going to hear me talk about it at all. So he took care of business. Him and Tommy Townsend, like he said, kissed and made up. And I think Dustin Colquitt's comments may have been a little bit of a distraction, but maybe that galvanized the guys that are inside the building this week. I don't know. I didn't hear anything from them. But all I did hear is that they're ready to take care of business, and that's exactly what they did. But when it comes to punt returning, when it comes to punt defense, kick defense, things of that nature, I am a little bit concerned because we're also seeing a lot of flags still too. We're seeing the Chiefs have miscalculations on that too. So I think it's a lot on the coaching staff because they're the veterans out here. And if we had some glaring problems on defense or on offense, we would be looking at the coaching staff, because those are the guys that go out there and set the guys up for success each and every week. So we got to see that really develop in the coming weeks, because we've been talking about the pass defense has been struggling here, but they got time to work on it before the playoffs. It's the same thing for these young guys in special teams. They got to work on this stuff in the coming weeks because they can make a play that could ultimately decide an outcome of a playoff game.
Well, like as a coach, the only thing you probably do is just replace the guy. That's it. If he's not giving what you want and what you need, just got to replace him. And sometimes what ends up happening is because you're down on bodies, and you know that your best tacklers are probably going out there. Chanel and those guys are out there playing. Yeah. You don't want to put those guys out there on special teams and end up getting hurt. Like these guys got to come in and make tackles. Like I said, it's all about assignment-driven play, especially on special teams. And like I said, they'll get into the meeting. Whoever's not assignment, wise doing their job, they're going to get their butts handed to them. Believe me, and they will tell you, "Look, we will get rid of you." I've heard everything in the special teams meeting. Guys who have compromised what you do on special teams have got replaced, have been sent back down to the practice squad, whatever it may be. Look, we can get a guy to come up here to run lanes. If you're going to do it this way and don't get it done, matter of fact, we'll sit you back here on this bench, or we'll sit you somewhere else, and we'll send your butt home. Look, believe me, I've heard it all. I've heard a coach say, "Look, if you try and get me fired, I'm going to take you with me." Believe that. So let's hope some of those guys won't get the message, because if not, somebody's going to be out of a job. Pure and simple.
Yeah. That's you've heard someone tell a player that before?
Oh yeah, I've heard a whole lot of different stuff. Coach would come up there like, "Man, are you trying to get me fired?" Say, "Look, I tell you what, you get me fired, I'm gonna take a whole lot of y'all with me." I'm just telling you, he meant it. You know he meant it. Like that joke ain't playing.
JD, as long as it wasn't you, he was saying that too, bro. We're good here.
No. Brother, look, I've been in special teams meetings where I had been that guy that I've been fussed at. I remember going down on one time against the Ravens. I got absolutely blindsided, depleted, and so coach said, JD, you got to put your head on the swivel. Daggone, coach, something took my head off. I tried. I was like, but I knew at that moment, like, yeah, it's my fault. It's my fault. I wasn't where I was supposed to be. So,
Well, I mean, you had a long career, so obviously no coach was taking you with them. So
learn, baby. You learn. That's what you do. You learn. You better learn quick. That's your job.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.